I know we're way over time. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is extremely important, though.
I'm gonna say I gotta ask. I mean, I've seen a lot of people who are like on the fence about voting. I get they all hate Trump, but they're not a fan of Biden. But I just want to hear y'all say, what do you say to those voters? Like just tell them why they should get out and vote this November 3rd.
Gosh, I feel like
Just
it's gonna be an infomercial, bro. But
Just say it.
I think the people that are on the fence is like.
If you want to vote for Trump, just vote for Trump. That's what it is. To me, if you're not undecided, that's what it is.
My biggest thing, I kind of say what I feel about it. Is like, if you're on the fence, like, you've seen 4 years of what you've seen. You have 4 years of a sample size, and you've had a couple debates, and you've had, a town hall meeting to decide on what you want to do. Mm-hmm. It's not about the party, like, and if you're a person that is undecided on a party issue, then my answer to you is, from a human perspective, where do you lie? Like, that's what you need to look internally and say, hey, am I for human rights? Am I for, like, what do I identify with? Because, like, if you're an independent, or if you're on the fence and you don't, you don't want to go Democrat or Republican, my response is, hey, who is the best person that's going to lead America for the future that you want to see, that's going to take care of your mom, that's going to take care of your children? Like, are they going to put you in a good spot to, like, win? Like, from, not even from a party perspective. Yeah. For that people. And from a person that's Democrat and doesn't feel confident in Joe, do more research. If you're a Republican and you feel on the fence about Joe, do some more research and then look at 4 years of what you've gotten, and do you really feel good about yourself looking in the mirror?
Amazing.
I'm done.
I mean, just like look at it. I don't understand. Like Malik said, it's been 4 years of sample size, and just in the last year, we've had a global pandemic. That again, I'm not gonna blame him for every one of the 250.
That was his time to shine.
But
let you know.
He has a lot of blame. He has a lot of blame, and the thing is, it's not even
150,000 lives on your hand.
I'm about to say, like, you have a huge hand in it. You did literally everything the wrong way. So my question is, if you're undecided, the way the world's going right now, if aliens invaded on February 5th, would you want to leave the country against the aliens?
What's this guy?
I mean, like, which...
Low-key Trump got big missiles though.
Right, yeah, so you shoot a little tiny
if the aliens invade, we're ruling out Harrison Ford. I'd want him to lead us.
Okay, sure.
What about Will Smith?
Either or. Han Solo or...
obviously I'm being facetious, but like with the shit that's going on in the world, you want that? Like literally leading shit? Like, take away...
there with phases.
I mean, like...
Space Force.
We need
I'm calling
back Space Force.
I called George Lucas. He's bringing us lightsabers. It's okay.
We're gonna fight it. Don't worry. The Mandalorian's coming.
The Mandalorian's coming. And the Baby Yoda, I like it.
Yes, I love this show.
I guess that clown on what you guys say in terms of undecided voters. I did lead off with earlier that I thought people are stupid. I think a lot of undecided voters. I think a lot of people are stupid.
I don't think they're stupid.
It's fair to say that.
Scared. I think they are scared to just say they want to vote for Trump.
Let me say.
No, I think it's a lot of jaded people too. I think it's
what I'll say is this.
I'll put it like this. We're done with this political process.
That's what I say. I'll put it like this. Yes, I do believe a lot of people are stupid.
So are they undecided? All right, I'm sorry. We're going so long. Are they undecided between the two candidates, or just undecided about voting in general?
Just voting in general. Like, I don't know if I'm going to even vote. Like, my vote doesn't matter.
That's why I would say, like I said, in terms of your decision not to vote, some people are stupid just in terms of how they choose between the two candidates. I think you're stupid if you're constantly just being hard-headed. Yeah. That's what I say, you're being stupid. Right. Now, when it comes to people of color and minorities, I don't use that same argument because at that point, I do believe that there is a healthy skepticism, but it's the same thing that it's with vaccines, where it's just common sense would tell you, I'm gonna take this shot so I can get protected. Common sense should tell you, I'm gonna vote for this one person to get the other one out of the office, so I think I have a better shot at communicating with them. But I also have a history on my side of things that haven't gone right, even when I should have been able to. And that's why I said the thing earlier when I said about Barack Obama, which why I said not anything against Barack Obama, but it's just he was the president and we still had things happen to us that weren't favorable. He was better in terms of responding to us and quelling our frustrations and our anger, but it's at the same time they still happen. So that's why.
But that's
but I'm not trying. I got you. That's why I'm not trying to blame you. But it's just like we still feel there are people that probably feel like if it ain't worked then. Why the hell am I going to waste my time?
But what else can you do?
But that's why I say it's a hard thing. That's why I say it's a hard thing.
It's one thing to sit there and say, "Oh shit, what my vote doesn't matter." What the hell else are you gonna do? Just sit on your couch and complain, or are you gonna do the voting? Voting? I mean, maybe in the Corona world, there's a risk in voting. Voting, you have nothing to lose as casting a vote.
That's what
exactly. I mean, it's just, and I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with anything that anybody's saying.
You're presenting the opinion.
It's just so hard because it's like, yo, people talk to somebody who like lived through the 1960s and they're like 70 something now. They're like, yo, people are still dying out here. Like,
well, I'll say they're more likely to vote than
fair. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's like they may still have a healthy skepticism where it's like, yo. I lived through this. I've seen it before. I'm seeing it again within like a new civil rights movement, for lack of a better word. It just like creates this skepticism where you're like, what does
hold on. Because if you voted back then and you voted for Lyndon, well, I guess you didn't vote for Lyndon Johnson, but if you voted for JFK and you got Lyndon Johnson out of that,
you definitely did it because you couldn't.
Well, it doesn't matter. But you got the civil rights bill out of that.
You got the civil rights bill.
Voting rights.
I got you. But I mean, yeah, but a bill.
The way I approach voting, like undecided people, is because even I think we all I don't know if I speak for all, but even I sometimes fall into that trap of like, does my vote really matter? I think we all internally sometimes think that,
especially in local elections.
Yeah, so like for me, the way I get over that is I vote for the person that's not going to vote. In my way,
you said what?
I vote for the person that's on the fence and is not going to vote. Because if I don't vote, then that next person that didn't vote is not going to vote. And this is a combo effect. So, like, I vote. The reason why I vote is not, just because, the reason why I'm on the fence sometimes is because do I think my vote will matter? That's for another discussion. But I think the reason why I vote is, one, because I believe in the candidate, but also because the next person that's in some different state or different place, unfortunately, is not going to vote. So, like, if I fall into that trap of not voting, that person, now we have 2 votes, we have 5 votes, and just multiply.
I understand the argument, I get it, I understand the argument. I just think it's such a cop-out, right? Because you can't say you care about shit. How else are you going to invoke change, right? I
gotta tell you, a lot of people feel so jaded with this American system.
And it's like, what's
so jaded. As educated black men, we get it.
Fucking rise up,
because
get weapons and go and fucking start a revolution.
That's one extreme, of course.
What you're saying is the most logical response to everything,
right?
And it's just like we're in a situation.
If you don't give a shit just about anything. You care, right now, whatever, I just do not care. My life is what it is, all that shit doesn't matter, whatever. But, if you, all this shit's going wrong, and I hate all this shit, and you want shit to, how is you gonna make shit change?
Yeah.
If you don't give a fuck,
don't complain.
Whatever.
I'm about to say, don't complain and talk about shit and changes and things need to be changed. You're not voting. You are a huge hypocrite in my opinion.
I think it's bigger than that too. I just think people to go back to Aaron's point, I just think it's a lot of people who are so over the system who feels that regardless of the candidate, we've been fucked over. You get what I'm saying? This guy, a lot of people were so pissed off, including I was a little disappointed when Joe Biden couldn't really answer the layup question of Black Lives Matter or the police brutality and stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there who are just so tired of they pushed out the vote, they did the vote. And they still got fucked over. Their families still got fucked over.
I get it. It's just
so I just think it's important, to not only my biggest selling point is not just vote the person in office, because at the end of the day we're all just people. At the end of the day, my biggest point is to hold them accountable. That is the biggest piece of this whole thing. Cause you can vote anybody in for office. Anybody sounds good on the campaign trail. They can tell you what they want you to hear. They have the campaign funds where they can push out the commercials you want to see, the things you want to hear. The things you want to see and hear. But at the end of the day, what are they doing when they're actually in office? We have to keep track of these things, and we have to hold them to these things. We have to get more involved in the political process and not just voting. Voting is extremely important. We have to express our right, to pick who's running our house.
What we're doing, just in the last 4 years, Bernie Sanders was the one saying all the radical shit in 2016. Now, basically, everything he said in 2016, everybody in the Democratic primary earlier this year in the debates were saying his shit verbatim. Because literally, like you said, people will go and put their necks on all these candidates and social medias, come to their rallies, disrupt their rallies. People are doing that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it can't just be, I'm jaded and whatever.
But
like,
let me say this though. Because the Hillary Clinton vote was so low for the black vote, bro. So we can't say we're doing that with just 4 years ago. We had some of the lowest turnout that we've had.
I understand that, but I'm just saying.
So we gotta bring that shit up.
I agree with that, but what I'm saying is, like, for the jaded person, like, nothing I do will matter. That's not true. Like, things are literally shit changed, and just in the last 4 years, a lot of shit changed. And voting is another way to change shit. So my thing is, it's basically saying you can either sit on your ass and complain. And to me, if that's what you're gonna do, I really question if you really want things to change, or if you just complain. Yeah, because like voting or going out and getting involved and putting pressure, that doesn't really require that much. Because honestly, in 19 fucking in Jim Crow era, like if we could film a podcast back in the Jim Crow era, we said, oh, what's the point of all this? Like shit, dude. Like if black people had that idea, like literally, what the hell? We redline.
You're right.
Whiteboard found something like. Right. I mean, I get it. I understand why you're being jaded. Like, just like in the same way I understand.
That's my favorite Drake.
I can understand.
Yes,
I can understand a lot of things that are bad that people do. I can understand why you did it. You shouldn't do it though.
Right.
But the biggest thing is, like, nobody's saying wrong. I guess at the end of the day, it just all comes down to you're bringing logic to an illogical situation.
This bitch down.
Yeah. So we're gonna make sure that we end this with Donnie 32, because that's what I'm running.
What?
Don 32.
Donnie 32. Donnie 2032. Yeah,
just get out there and vote, man.
That was
get
so
out there and vote. That was so random.
That was so random.
I thought you was about to come in with some profound
Oh,
shit.
hell no. I have nothing wrong.
It's his fault, because he's the one who started. We could at least
get out there and vote, man. This America. This is our house technically. I mean, if you want to look at it like that, you don't want nobody voting on what goes on in your house, bro. Like we gotta speak our voice and what's going on into our house, our land. Like we live here. If you don't want to live here, cool. If you want to move to Canada, you want to move to Africa, whatever you want to go to, fine. But if you're living here, if you're being in this country and you're subject to the shit that's going on,
that's what exactly.
Speak up, get out.
It's 2020.
Vote,
Dude.
it's never been easier. Hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Damn, that's smooth.